So let's start. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to host you in this amazing place. And I hope you have a smooth arrival and have the opportunity to grab a good coffee. My name is Roberta Lauro, and I will guide you through innovation and collaboration that are shaping the future of industrial ecosystem in the Europe area. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that we have planned an opening speech from European Commission, but unfortunately, the European Commissioner could not be here today, so he sent us his greetings and also full support for the epicenter success and all for all the startups that are participating to this competition today. And now to kick off this meeting, I would like to introduce you Professor Vincenzo Nigro, who is the president and chairman of Cluster Campania Bioscience. And he will welcome us and also set the stage for this today's discussion. So please, Professor Nigro, join us on the floor.
Will be very short, yes. I'm Vincenzo Nigro, and I serve as chairman of the district Campania Bioscience. My first job is to be molecular geneticist, my interest in rare genetic disease. And in our field, the most important thing is matchmaking. Matchmaking is important because when you have a very rare disorder, you must find a similar subject all over the world that has the same feature and same characteristic. And matchmaking is also the word of the day, because you have an interesting project, but your project without a connection with other people in the world cannot be useful. And the interest and the value of what you are doing is important because there are other people that are searching something that is important, something that is crucial, and that can be very rare, but when you find something that is rare, the value is increased and you have the possibility to grow and to have new opportunities. I know that today there is a competition and there are many SMA of different countries, Lithuania and Portugal, Spain, and 13 of them. And I think that this competition is a game. It's nothing like a game, but it's a game that can be important to build something that is important for the future of SMA. And we have to thank the European Union for this activity of connection. We also work together in European Union, and these programs are very important. Now, European Union is our house, and in the future will be much more than this, because the incredible international surrounding is changing dramatically, impose us to work together in the European Union to find the right connection. I think that, thank you. I think that today will be an important day, and I leave to all you and to Roberta Lauro for introducing the organization of the day, and thank you all for your activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Nigro, for this insightful introduction. Now, as part of Campania Bioscience and also as a partner of the Epicenter project, together with Cluster Digital de Catalonia and Litmea, from Lithuania. I would like to introduce you very shortly the project. Epicenter. So, what Epicenter is? Epicenter is collaborative initiatives that aims to create a cross-sectoral collaboration in the sector of digital, fin, health, and agri-food. We, with an open innovation approach, identify 25 big corporates and big players in the above-mentioned sector in order to design which are the real-world challenges for a greener and more digital industrial ecosystem. And so on this basis, we selected innovative ideas that have a high market and grow potential. And we accompany them with a tailored academy support from the Warsaw Academy. And the corporate that we engage in this project are very important name, as you can see, Mediolanum, but also Viconda Group, Almaviva, but also Amadori, that are key actors and key players in the digital food and health sector. So they support us in the definition of our challenges. We identify the three principal topics in digital and fintech, in agri-food, and also in the health sector. And for each topic, we defined two different challenges and sub-challenges. So the project works like an open competition. We have three different phases, in two different open call. Now we are in the second open call. And the acceleration process is divided in three phases: the launch phase, the sustain phase, and the drive phase. But to give you, sorry, to give you, I try to go, I'm sorry. To give you an overview about the project, we will show you this short video that is an insightful in a minute. I hope it is a clear overview of the project. And where we are now, we are in this, as I said, in the second round of the second open call, so in the sustain phase, during which we already selected 13 companies that we have supported until today, and in the Epicenter Gala event, during which the 13 companies had the opportunity to showcase their innovative ideas. And at the end of this presentation, they will be selected by the corporates that are involved in this project, that are listening to their pitch, and then they will advance to the final phase, that is the drive phase, during which they have the opportunity to get ready to for the market entry. So now we give a voice to the startups, and we dive into the first panel on the power of data and blockchain for cross-sectoral development. Join us for the discussion are ThinkUp with Dime, I'm sorry. Then T3 with Martin, Seed Site with Paolo, and Group Salto with Jordi. Guiding the discussion is our moderator, Isabel Botti from Cluster Digital de Catalonia, one of the partners and the coordinator also of the project. Please, Isabel.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Nice to open the first panel discussions. We will have first a 5-minute presentation from all of the participants, and then we will have some discussions between us, some questions for each of you. This is also open to the public if you have some additional questions for them. So, do you have the pointer? Okay, so I give the floor to ThinkUp.
All right. Tell me when we start counting. All right, so many of you probably had some type of insurance need. I've seen many times where people trying to get a car accident or need to get a health insurance quote, which is important in many cases, wait for over 1 hour on the phone just to be transferred several times to different agents. Now, and at the end, still not get what they need. All right, so now multiply that bad experience with 2.5 billion calls that are handled poorly in the insurance industry. Now, this is an enormous issue, as this poor customer experience isn't just frustrating, it's costly, both for the people, but mostly for the insurance industry, where in losing premiums and other inefficiencies, the insurance industry is losing over 170 billions per year only in the US, with Europe not having enough statistical data to get the whole number, but it should be very close as well. I'm Dimi Galapchev, CEO of ThinkUp. At ThinkUp, we are focused at kind of solving this issue and improving the customer experience in order to return that culture of saving and more conservative living. We are doing this mostly because this industry faces a critical challenge. These high operational costs are not are having this kind of domino effect where you need to hire more people. Hiring more people, you gotta raise the premiums. So now people are not giving good experience, so you have higher prices, lower experience. This is the suicide kind of equation for the industry. As we've seen, the alternative financial products are becoming more popular. This is why we have built a specialized call center agents that can transform the customer experience and solve all of these pain points, talking over the phone. Our agents handle everything from support and account management, sales, upsell, cross-sell, claims, reporting, interviews. They also do speak naturally in 165 languages. They are available 24/7, zero wait time. In 1 second you can find them. And most importantly, unlike humans, they provide consistent call quality. Also, because we like to go deep into the tech, we have developed a risk assessment algorithms of both the voice and the context, finding out what is the emotion, the distress, and factors if he's making a fraud, lying or not. We also deliver all of this into structured report and analysis, and the AI agents after the call, interview, or whatever, do collection on the documents needed or follow up for quotes. So kind of the whole account management, call center, front office part. I'm not gonna be telling you, I want to show you, so I'm gonna give a call to one of our agents. Let me It's just, you can call that number anytime you want.
Hi, this is Charlotte from InsuranceX Customer Service. How can I help you today?
Hey, Charlotte, can you tell me what type of insurance policies do you offer?
We offer auto, health, and property insurance. Are you a current client or interested in our services?
Can you tell me more about your health insurance?
I think you meant to ask about health insurance. We offer HMO, PPO, and HSA compatible plans.
All right, great.
Would you like more
Hey, Charlotte,
details?
can I report a claim? I just had a car accident.
I can help with that. Are you insured with us?
No, I'm not.
Thank you for clarifying. I'll transfer you to our third-party claims department now.
Please do transfer
Please
me
hold
now.
on.
Hi, this is Charlie from Third Party Claims and Insurance X. How can I help you today?
Hey, Charlie, I want to report a claim.
I can help with that. First, are you insured with us?
No, I'm not.
Thank you for confirming. Can you provide the policy number or name of our insured driver involved?
So not to go over the full interview, it takes about 10-15 minutes when it's about a claim, not a regular customer inquiry. It goes through all of the questions, adapting itself, and at the end, while we are speaking, later we can show to anyone individually the reports are being generated of what has been talked and analyzed. We are not we started recently, but we already have made significant traction, both in Europe and on the US market, which we saw the US market can be much easier to penetrate with this type of technology, as Europe is still conservative. And working with a couple of universities, both in Europe and in the US, on building the next generation of AI models specialized for insurance. We don't believe in product of the shelf type of business. So we customize and retrain the AIs in 10 days for each customer so they can deliver the best service just for your unique challenges and use cases. So, and after that, as you see, the ROI, the return of investment is immediate. You get first 10 times cheaper access, you get it 5 times better than a human, and 50 times faster. We charge simply active minutes talked on the phone. So unlike employee, you don't pay full salary and he's working only 3 days, then he takes 6 days or anything. You only pay for what the job they have done. Our vision is not just the call center AI. We have already made significant developments in the rest, as we believe that 80% of front office operations, both in the insurance but the rest of the financial industry, will be handled from one control room where a couple of people will be just nudging several AIs. You do this that way, you do this that way. It's not going to be armies of people not communicating with each other and making all types of mistakes and inefficiencies. So it's not a question if the industry is going to be using this type of technology. The question is when. So if anyone comes from this industry, it's simple. Will you lead or you will follow? We are right now looking for partners, clients, distribution channels, as well as we are raising an investment round literally in May. So if anyone is interested, feel free to contact us at any time.
Thank you, Dave.
Dime.
Yes, you can sit back. Thank you. Okay, so I give now the floor to Tipri. No, this is okay. You have the mic.
I guess this one or yeah, we can hear each other, right? Good. So my name is Martin. I'm a CEO of Tipri, and today I want to tell you about the software we're developing, which is the software for contextual retail analytics on quantum computers. So this is what the typical retail operations look like on a computer. You have a table, let's say, of customers. For example, Martin, 32 years old, earns this much money. This is his purchase history. You can have products, for example, for a bank. This might be insurances, mortgages, cards. Might be also for a store, Aperol, limoncello, yeah, pasta. Channels, you sell online, you sell in person, and so on. And then in the middle, you have one table which connects all these individual tables, which is the table of transactions, the invoices, right? For example, Martin yesterday bought an Aperol in a physical location, right? And so on. So how do we analyze this? Well, there's essentially two ways. The first way is we look at individual tables. We look at the table of customers, who are all the customers in a particular business, and then we can do segmentation, profiling, marketing, so on. We can look at historical transactions, and based on the history, try to predict what are the sales going to be next quarter. We can look at products, do bundling, pricing, look at channels, profitability. But we decided to do this a little bit different. So the way we approach this is that we turn databases, right? So the structure that I showed you is a very simple relational database. We turn these databases into graphs or networks. And the way we do it is I become a node in a graph. Maybe you become another node in a graph. You become another node in a graph. You become another node in a graph. And the products become also different nodes in a graph, right? And then I'm connected to a certain product if I bought it, right? And then you can think about time evolution. So how does this connection develop with time as new customers join, new products join, customers buy products, and so on, right? And it turns out that, I mean, this is the way that humans think about retail, or this is the way that humans think about systems like this, right? We think my friend yesterday bought a Coca-Cola in this store, yeah, and my other friend may be also interested in doing the same thing. And it turns out that for computers, this also works very well. So we developed an engine which encodes relational databases into graphs, and then we can perform different types of analytics. For example, we can perform segmentation, we can do recommendation engines, we can do prediction of sales, of churn, really very versatile tool. However, I lied a little bit. Yeah, this is not really the state of the art. We don't look at individual tables. What we actually do is we join different tables together, and then you can run machine learning on this actually very, very well. And this is very accurate. Why do we think our solution is still better? Well, we can look at the history. So if you have had a chance to go around Naples, you saw what the streets are like, right? It's quite chaotic, at least the way I see it, right? So if you look historically, there were maybe 5 streets in the beginning, and then the city started growing, right? And if we try to predict how Naples is going to grow, this history is very important. If you look at cities in the US, you have like a grid structure. How is the city going to grow? Very differently, right? So we encode this history and topology, so the shape of the city. And this has very strong predictive power. The second one is if-then analysis. What happens, let's say, in COVID, if we shut down all in-person channels, right? How does the graph change? Who will buy what, where? Yeah, we can do these types of analytics very, very successfully. Here's the problem. The relational databases that we are working with are huge. Tens of terabytes of data, millions of nodes, they change constantly, right? Imagine your favorite retailer, the store that you go to, like Spar or I don't know what are other stores, Walmart. This changes all the time, right? So we decided to put this graphs and machine learning on graphs on quantum computers. We've already developed the software. We've tested software with large industry partners like Turkcell in Turkey. And we're in talks actually with Spar to implement this to their retail network as well. And I would be very happy to talk about technology, about use cases, and just in general. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Now we give the floor to Seedside. Oh, Paolo.
It's my turn to. So, what if I told you that with a single scan, we could revolutionize how we evaluate our food? Let me introduce you to SeedSight. With SeedSight, we can tell you not only if your grains are good, but also the amount of food they will produce. At SeedSight, our mission is to transform food systems from the ground up. Our goal is to amplify food availability for future generations by maximizing the use of existing cereal resources. And we are offering food processors, especially the milling companies, a cereal screening platform that can increase productivity, but also boost profits and sales by up to tens of millions of euros per year per company, all for an annual fee of 170k euros. But let's talk a little bit about the market and the problem. Milling companies, together with oat, wheat, and maize traders combined, represent a market of 34 billion euros, and all suffer from the same problem. So inconsistent grain quality and lack of screening methods. And this, for milling companies, leads to loss in production by 15% when transforming grains into flour. And that's currently outdated and unacceptable, and we have to change it. And that's what we do with SeedSight. With SeedSight, we offer a platform that can give extended information and additional information for millers to make smarter and faster decisions on their grains. This leads to increase of quality on the products they produce, while also generating even more profits. With SeedSight, we slash 89% of the procurement time to select the best seeds. We reduce 8% of the screening costs to select the best seeds and to detect contaminants, for example, and we increase productivity by 20%. This increasement in productivity comes with the prediction of the flour extraction rate. What is that? That is the rate of flour that is being produced for these types of grains. If this indicator is higher, that means that more flour is produced, and that means higher sales. And we can increase sales from 3 million to 70.5 million euros per year per company, all resorting to a panel of characteristics that we give. This panel is the type of metrics that we can bring to these milling companies, not only on quality of the grains, the productivity, but also in safety, multiple contaminants, pesticide residues, mycotoxins, and even other type of contaminants as well. And how we do it? We do it resorting to our platform that combines both a software and an hardware that is already proprietary and patent granted. The hardware part comprises an optical fiber sensors that illuminates wheat samples, and what we collect back is the backscattering pattern. So the interaction between light and the nanoparticles and microparticles of the sample that is then stored and processed in a cloud-based infrastructure. So what we have basically is an equipment that do this illumination of samples and transfer data to a cloud infrastructure where we apply our AI models and pre-processing pipelines in order to have an optical fingerprint from the grains that are being analyzed. And in terms of features of our product, we are looking for a compact transportable system that can be deployed directly with milling companies in order to give a panel of more than 70 parameters on the grains that are being analyzed. It encrypts data, and it also is agnostic. So we can not only work with wheat, maize, but also with other types of commodities as well, and increase this range that we are trying to address. In terms of developments during this sustained phase, we were able to work directly with milling companies and automate the way that we interact with them. So basically, we create multiple apps and multiple dashboards, not only to insert data, but also to report the information that we are providing, and also to operate the machines that we are developing together with them as well, while also increasing our database of optical fingerprints and grains by more than 300 grain sample types. And we did it all resorting to these graphical user interfaces that we did together with our end users and operators in order to optimize the times that in this industry they have that they are very short. What we provide is a platform that can be directly applied to industrial scale operations to analyze batch samples, provide more than 70 parameters in real time, while also decreasing the cost of analysis per sample. Currently, the milling companies have screening costs higher than 300 euros per sample. What we are proposing is a value below 2 euros per sample. We hope to have revenue already within this year by converting one of the pilots that we are already conducting and generating more than 2 million with only 10 clients, because milling companies work with huge amounts of grains, tons of grains. So imagine that based on an annual subscription that we charge, if we have 10 clients, we will reach already the 2 million. Only by charging the annual subscription that I talked about. We have already 6 LOIs, 3 active pilots, and 8 more in the pipeline. We conducted already interviews with more than 100 potential clients, while trying to engage even more with other types of partners as well to increase our database of optical fingerprints and make our AI models even more robust. We can also create a climate impact. We can generate, by applying our platform, we can generate more food based on the same grains, enough food to feed 1.1 times the US population, or even to decrease the CO2 emissions by 15% regarding the CO2 emissions of Ukrainian war, for example. We have also won some prizes. We were selected as one of the 2024 Nature Spin-off Awards and win the Altis International Innovation Award. And that highlights our food safety innovation strategy that we are trying to implement as well. We are a team of PhDs, business leaders, and entrepreneurs, all driven to redefine how we're going to feed our population by 2050. This slide is here just to show you that we started during the epicenter phase with only us 3 founders, but during the sustain phase, we have already increased for 3 more collaborators within our team to even increase the pace that we are imposing to deploy our technology. And we are currently fundraising, looking for 1.5 million euros that we hope to close by the end of Q1 this year, where we have already some soft commitments as well. But we are also looking for partnerships and to increase our pilots in order to not only provide even more value, but also to increase our databases and make our models more robust and more generalistic. So join SeedSite and please contact us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Now, last in our panel, but not least, Grupo Salto. Do you want this mic? Prefer the yeah, the
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Jordi Cabau, Grupo Salto CTO and Innovation Director. I'm here alongside my teammates today to present Converker, which is an AI remote patient monitoring solution. I want to start by introducing Maria Teresa, which is an elderly. She is 80 years old. She lives in a town, in a small town in the Pyrenees, in the Catalan Pyrenees. She doesn't have much family around. She lives alone, and she doesn't have much support in her daily activities, and is starting having some memory decline and striking in keeping her health properly. And this situation is the same for millions of elderly around the world today. And not to mention the concern of her healthcare professionals for not acting proactively with that regard. So this is why we created this solution of Converker. In 2030, 1 in 6 people will be over 60 years as it's forecasted. And in 2050, chronic diseases will account for around 86% of the global death. So with this current aging population and demographic development, that will pose a burden for sure for the healthcare sector. So these kind of solutions, of remote patient monitoring solutions, will be a need for the future. So I had the opportunity to bring here our device. We have partnered with top-notch hardware devices, hardware manufacturers, and healthcare device professionals. And we have developed this solution so that the intention is to be at home with the elderly. And for professionals, they can create some kind of personalized interactions with the elderly, so that they can have her vital signs registered and shared with an app, and even they can have the insights, and they can use it to have to act as with more information when they have to decide how to treat that patient. Even for caregivers, they can connect through video calls, and they can monitor the activities of daily living during the day. And of course, for the end user or the patient, they can feel more connected. They can have activities created for their health, and they can have cognitive exercises and rehabilitations, whatever. So the market, it is growing with the market of remote patient monitoring at a 13%. And we have managed to secure two pilots, one with Aura Foundation, which is an entity which provides assistance for elderly and people with dementia. And another pilot is in a medical center from the Catalan Pyrenees, where they will test it as an integrated way to provide assistance, either with healthcare professionals and social professionals at the same time. Now it's your turn to be part of it. So we are seeking for more possibilities to do more pilots, companies that want to transform and lead this process of remote monitor patients at home, and so that we can have more pilots, more guidance in that matter, and have the possibility to scale this project for the future. So you can contact me or any of my colleagues here, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Jordi. Now we have heard from the first 4 presentations, very nice presentations, very nice innovative solutions with the support of Epicenter. Now I have some general questions and individual questions that we have prepared, but this is also open to all of you. If you have some questions, just raise your hand and we'll be happy to discuss all together. So maybe not coffee break, sorry. Okay, so I will give you a mic around here, and then you can just pass it around through the questions. Okay, so first I have maybe a general question for all of you. We have been seeing the development of this data and blockchains in your innovative solutions and projects. So with this rapid evolution that we see in both data and blockchain technology, how do you see this to be continued in the following years, concretely in particularly in fostering innovation in SMEs and projects like yours?
Should I start? Because I have the
Yes.
microphone. All right. So I do think with AI, you read, or big data, blockchain, all these technologies, you read essentially 2 types of news. One is that it's a little bit overhyped. The other one is that it's only the beginning. And I feel like it's with any type of new technology, when it ramps up, it goes a little bit in waves, right? So we might be a little bit at a peak now. So I'm anticipating that maybe in the next half a year might slow down a little bit, but then eventually it will pick up again. So I was actually very, very impressed with all the presentations of other panelists. And I think there's huge potential already in this setting, and the other solutions that other companies are working on. I think in any case, it will not stop. It will probably not slow down because there's so much value in it.
Yeah, if I can add something. In a world of digitalization as we are, the use of AI and blockchain is essential, not only to increase transparency, but also to have a sense of traceability on what type of analysis and what is being done. So having AI to detect anomalies and blockchain to give this immutability of the information that we are gathering is key to provide even more informed decisions and to increase the awareness of all players within the supply chain.
If not an issue, I'll try to kind of give, because I'm always looking more at the economic side of things. So first, let's give kind of a perspective. The wheel, we all know what's a wheel, right? A big circle was invented around 15,000 years ago. We are still inventing new types of wheels, and they're still used critically in our every day-to-day living. Same with many technologies. The AI is the same. It is like 20 years ago, some new coding language. It's not about like kind of the AI, the blockchain. We've now discovered them, we are optimizing them, and we will be using them for the next thousands of years, like the AI. Some years, as he said, some years there will be big jumps, some years there will be less. This is kind of dynamic. It's equally proportional to how much funding it's getting into that industry. If we put now all of the funding in rocket science, we're going to be sending people to other stars. So it's kind of the economy, it's at the end, it's important the value that we are going to get at. And any type of automation that can take the human out of the equation, the economy loves it because humans are high costs and are unreliable. That is really bad when you're planning anything, especially in a business. You cannot lean on people as much as you wish, like if you think about it. And any type of technology that takes the human out of the equation gives a lot of value in the economy. Now that has another butterfly effect, which after so much automation, what comes when nobody will need to work, right? When on 80% of the people won't have a job as most of the things are automated. This is kind of a more, also on the economical, there people are talking universal basic income, there are many things, like all you need is to buy one robot and then you don't need to work, right? He will do the work for you. So there are a couple of ways of how society is going towards it, and I'm really glad that I see people who are bringing us closer to this future, where people will be focused not on day-to-day tasks that are repetitive, but will be focused on art, on science, on philosophy, while the rest, some will go on science and innovation. But nobody will be anymore pushing bricks and pulling trolleys. So.
For our case and working with health data from patients, it is very interesting to have a solution that requires some data privacy, but the more data we can gather and the more data we can have to train models is the better. For this reason, this type of solutions we think that they are very important to have more data to study and to train our models. So I think that we are in the right path with these kind of programs here.
Yeah, thank you all. So we see we are with good projects and in a good path, all of us. So now I have an individual question for Tripri. So how do you envision your technology will improve in particularly the current state of customer segmentation in the banking sector?
All right, so there's two parts to our technology. The first part is the graph analytics, so encoding the database as a graph and then running analytics. And the second part is the quantum computing, which I talked a little bit less about. I believe that the graph technology and machine learning on graphs will be extremely useful, because all the big tech companies like Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, they use it. And we believe that it's time that it moves towards a little bit smaller scale, but still tech companies. With quantum computing, it's of course a little bit more complicated. The current timeline is maybe 5 to 10 years before we have a useful quantum computer. But in quantum computing, you want big problems, you want problems with complex data, and you want problems that change fast. And we do think that graph analytics is one of such problems. So whenever quantum computing, the hardware, does become available, we think we will be in a very good position.
Any questions, interactions from the public? No? Yes, all of them. Okay.
Thank you. I have a question for you. Sorry, I don't remember your name. You mentioned multiple times, but I was wondering whether the analysis of the voice for the analysis of the motion and so on, you were doing a speech-to-text analysis or an acoustic analysis, and if it works on the 165 languages plus dialects, or it's focused on a specific language. Thank you.
All right, so we do both voice and contextual. So before as kind of as audio, we analyze all of in the voice, a little bit of vibrations on which word the vibration happened in your voice. Did you stop for a microsecond in finishing your sentence, mid-sentence, at which part? Did you, like there are a lot of parameters, indicators, so from the voice to deduct not just the emotion, are you happy or sad, but to kind of see the confidence level of what you're saying, like how confident you are that that is the truth what you're saying. This, it's kind of tricky, as there is no like, it's not you're lying or you're not lying, but it kind of gives a more percentage of the chance, which after that the AI uses it to ask a better next question or a follow-up. Like if it detects that you said something suspicious or not confident, it will ask you about that a follow-up question. At the end of the call, we do additional analysis of not just, this is the real-time voice. At the end of the call, we analyze the full voice again, but also we analyze the transcript, the speech to text as well, and we kind of try to compare and to find out at which parts we see kind of inconsistencies or fraudulent patterns.
Thank you. And in all the languages, and dialects, or in a specific language?
So we are from Macedonia. You're from Europe, you know where is it. Only 1.5 million people speak our language. When we first developed the technology, we were probably the most stupid team anywhere in the world. We developed it for Macedonian. We kind of bled blood. Once after we developed it, because it's a very low data point language, right? Once we started switching to the rest of languages, we started outperforming other stuff. Now, in regards to understanding, it's 165 languages. In regards to the emotion and this voice analysis, it can even like analyze the voice of a dog barking. It doesn't care. It's not looking at the context of that word. That is done by the other AI. And after that, so it's analyzing just the voice, and that it doesn't matter the language in that case.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Any other? Yes? Okay.
Hi, my name is Bogdan Ivanov, and I have a question for Mr. Jordi for this beautiful remote device. You suppose that you will give this device to every future customers, old customers who will use it to collect the data. So where you will keep all this data, and how you will use this data to be useful for the patient, for the people?
Thank you for the question. We use, so first the data is encrypted. We follow the ISO 27001 regulation. And also we follow the security scheme from Spain, which is a local scheme for security. And this data is, first we follow the GDPR scheme, so that data is first by the person, and then we will connect it with the medical centers so that they can have alerts if there is something that is out of some kind of measures, so that they can mix it with their historical data. So I think here the goal is to mix this data, this daily data, with the historical data, so that they can have more an enhanced solution to provide data analysis for the elderly.
A short question also for FinUp. When in the future, imagine that the most problem with the customer center are solved by app or by telephone. So people who go to the center have a very special and outlier problems. You're prepared to instruct to very tricky solution, because I think that this could be the key strategy for empower this activity.
Yes, so what we are doing is every day, as we started a couple of pilots and have one paid client right now, and all of this is happening in the last 6 months as like things. We already have learned about many edge cases, as we call them, and we kind of train and prepare the AI to be able to handle them. But also we kind of believe that the AI shouldn't handle all of the cases. It should handle 80% of the inquiries, while 20%, I didn't...
Yes, I've seen.
It will transfer to a human immediately. So what you do is you kind of gonna keep your best people, your best employees that can know these edge cases, but the 80% of the rest are not needed.
Yes, okay.
Not popular in Europe.
And for you, you collect data about pressure, oxygen, but in general, old people are mainly neurological problems that this instrument can be useful to assess the neurological dysfunction, such as some signs of an ictus or a problem of different type that is difficult with cardiological parameters.
Yes, thank you. In a pilot that we are working now, we are partnering with a company that provides some kind of questionnaires so that they can assess the cognitive decline for an elderly. And with that regards, then we are requested to provide some kind of cognitive exercises and with different levels of difficulty so that they can treat the elderly and let they know the level of cognitive decline. So we are working on it. Yeah.
Question, I promise. So, still for you. So, you mentioned that one out of 6 people now will be elderly. So, how would you distribute your physical devices among all these big quantity of population? So, how would you imagine that? It's going to be very costly. And then the second question is that often the remote patient monitoring devices connect with other devices. For example, you showed a pulse oximeter now. And sometimes it's also, it poses another challenge of being reliant for your company to this provider. So I don't know if you have a solution or an opinion about how to overcome this challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. For the first question, we will take advantage of our company, which is mainly maintenance IT industry, which we can handle logistics to deliver this solution, and even technicians to overcome this maintenance, so that the solution is taken care of some technician. So we are working with that kind of business model with that regard. And for the second question, it is true that it is a challenge to keep track of every medical device provider and integrate for this device, which is a health hub at the end of the day. But we have found that many of these providers rely on some open functionalities to integrate. So it has not been very difficult for us to integrate several devices, and even during the pilots we have required to integrate new devices that we didn't thought at first. So and we managed to do that. So I think that we keeping in touch with these partners and medical devices companies, I think that we will be. It is key. It is key for this project, but I think that the industry is prepared for that now.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, so I have a question actually for you. And I was wondering what the onboarding process is like, because it feels like you work more in traditional industries. Is it difficult to convince them to use their technology? Is it difficult to educate them? How do you install it? Because you have 2 devices, right? One which is compact and one which is static. How does this work?
Thank you for the question. So the onboarding process, it's a little bit tricky. Firstly, we usually approach the CEOs of the milling companies. Those are the ones that want to reduce cost and increase profits. But the user usually is a quality manager operator, and he usually wants to value his opinion and not only the objective opinion that we give based on our platform. So we have to frame it in a way that the information that we are giving is a supportive information and not a replacer. That's usually how we do it. And we usually start with a preliminary assessment based on samples that they ship to us and that we analyze and provide information, to later then deploy a transportable solution that can create already some value on what they do without disturbing their production process. And trying to customize the AI models based on the type of grains that they are already used to work and based on their suppliers, and not only generalistic ones. Usually they want a specific case for them and not for the others. So we do customize in that way and provide that value with decreased sample that they handle. But the aim is to then scale the technology to deploy directly on their conveyors, on their piping systems, to provide even more information on batch-to-batch grains.
Thank you. Any last questions? No? Then I think it's time to close these panels. I want to give a big thank you to the 4 projects for your excellent innovative solutions. And yeah, Roberta.
Yeah, thank you, Isabel, and thank you, all of you. That's your computer? Okay. Thank you all for your presentation and also for the question that is important for us to go deeper in the solution. And now we have another break to let you connect each other and to grab a coffee, and let's resume in 15 minutes for the next panel discussion. See you later. Hello, Alec?
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, it's just a check for
Okay,
later.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm
But
here.
will you share the presentation, or will we do from here, and you ask us to go ahead?
Either way,
Either way,
we can do
we can
this.
do this. You can do this by yourself?
Sure.
Sure.
Um,
Okay, okay. We try to share the document, please.
okay.
Okay.
Let's see. It says present. Slides in PDF. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. And how's this? How's this? Can you
Okay, maybe
see?
it's better if we share. If it takes time, it's better if we share and you ask me to go ahead.
Okay, you can't see
you
that.
can't see that.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Present. Share screen. Let me try again.
Try again.
Okay.
Sure.
But it
There's two screens.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oops.
Can you open the presentation, please?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. 1 second.
1 second.
Stop sharing. Can you see it?
Can you see it?
No.
No. Okay, it's
Stop
better to share from here, no?
Yeah. So.
If not, we will share.
Okay, we can share it, no, Isabel?
Yeah, but I was hoping that he could share because then we could see the presentation. Hey, Alec, have you tried again?
Okay, let me try.
If not, for us, it's okay to be sharing the screen and you ask us to pass the slides.
Yes, but some slides I have there's multiple clicks, so
Okay.
that's the. Let me try it this way.
Okay.
Share
Oh, here.
and
Yes.
so now it's working. if I can move this. Wait a sec. So.
Click here.
That's it. So, for example,
Okay,
you can.
yeah, we
Now
can see the
works.
presentation now.
Okay. Okay.
Can you put
What
it
did
there?
it? So great. So that's why, because I have lots of clicks. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Can you click on hide?
Can you click on hide on the bottom?
Hide. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
That's
Okay,
what I need to do.
so you are the first, the last panel, sorry. So
Mhm.
after the 3 presentations, we will ask you to share the screen, okay?
Okay.
Like this it
Okay.
works.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Alec. Then we
Yeah.
will start again the session. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
So welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your break. And now we have our second panel on new frontiers for food and health through research. Joining us for the discussion are Business Vision with Arturo. Freya Farmaceutici with Alessandro Cavalieri. Innocensus with Praxeda, is the right name? And then B. Ofta with the iStay. Where is iStay? Okay. And Smart Epigenetics with the Mircea. Moderating the session is my friend Gidius from Litmea, the Lithuanian Food Association Exporters. Please, Gidius.
Thank you very much. As my colleague said, if you hear a strange surname, it means this person is from Lithuania. And I'm happy to start our second panel, New Frontiers for Food and Health Through Research. And firstly, I would like to ask you to introduce very short your company name and project name. It will be easy to recognize and identify you. So, maybe please, you first, very quick name, surname, and project, company name, and project.
I'm Alessandro Cavalieri. I'm CEO of Freya Farmaceutici. Our project is called Dermolife.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Praxeda from Lithuania, from the startup Innocensus, and our project name is Gluten Biosensor.
Hello, I am Aista Balčinaitė, and I'm CEO of Biofita, and our project is antimicrobial gels and compositions.
Very much.
Hello, my name is Mircea Dragos Ivanov, and I'm the co-founder of NutriCare, but the company is named Smart Epigenetics, and the project is named Heal It.
Good morning, I'm Arturo Piñeiro. I'm from BCN Vision. Our project is called AV and DL for canning. Thank you.
So, and you are the first presenter now.
Okay.
You can start, and I will try to check how it works. Yes, please, you can manage everything. So, yeah.
Good morning. As I said, I come from BCN Vision. The project, with this project, we want to elevate the quality control process in canning industry. Let me talk a little bit about numbers in the first place. In the European Union, every year, more than 59 tons of food waste are produced. This is equivalent to 132 kilos per person every year. From this amount, approximately 10 million tons come from food processing and manufacturing. According to Eurostat, this is estimated, this waste has an estimated cost of 132 billion euros. We are BCN Vision. My name is Arturo Piñeiro. I'm a back office and development engineer. We are a group of more than 75 people. We've been working in computer vision systems for more than 15 years. And our experience comes from the smallest computer vision systems to more advanced ones. We use 2D vision, 3D. We work with artificial intelligence and deep learning as well. And throughout our history, we've been working alongside with scanning companies, and we found that they have a huge problem with quality inspection. Their quality inspection systems are quite manual, and due to these high-speed production lines, they have to do manual inspections, and they have to do statistical inspections. This means that by the time they find a defect, they have to check again all the production to search for defects. This is slow, and this is a waste of time and money and material. With our system, with our solution, we want to tackle this problem. We've developed a 360 degrees vision system that uses artificial intelligence and deep learning to search for the smallest defect in real time at these high speeds processing lines. The speeds are something like from 400 cans to 600 cans per minute. So our system is able to find and detect these defects in real time, so the company knows what is producing and where are the defects. With this system, we want to reduce the waste and the product recalls. We want to improve the overall product quality, and we want to ensure the compliance with industry standards and boost efficiency and cost savings. What are the next steps? We already have a working prototype that we are ready to pilot and to find more opportunities to test. And we are ready to scale it to different production lines. And in the future, we want to test with even different materials like crystal, another kind of jars, or canning systems. That's pretty much everything. If you have any questions, just feel free to contact. Here's my email and our company address. So please, if you have if you need further information, just don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your quick presentation. And our second presenter, please, Alessandro.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Alessandro Cavalieri. I'm a founder and CEO of Freia Farmaceutici. Freia is an Italian company intended to develop a new therapeutic solutions starting from plants. So all our products are based on plants. In effect, our focus is to use essential fatty acids that they are potent modulator of all inflammation processes. As you know, inflammation is a cause and the origin of a lot of different pathology. We developed a product called the Dermolife. Dermolife is already marketed as medical devices, class 2A. It's a cream intended for cure and treat radiodermatitis and cutaneous rash due to radio and chemotherapies. The product is already on the market. In effect, we have the TRL 8. Obviously, we conducted a lot of clinical trials. Here, first one we conducted in Ferrara University that demonstrate a significant improvement in quality of life of patient and reducing side effect of chemo and radiotherapies. Also, the evaluation of a patient is quite good in terms of use and efficacy of the product, reducing all disturb of radiodermatitis. We conducted also under the new European regulation that try to avoid the use of animal model, some clinical trial in order to evaluate the efficacy and the safety of our product. And we are also conducting other clinical trials in vivo in order to gather more information about safety and efficacy of our product. Worldwide, we are working with a lot of independent researcher in order to evaluate the efficacy of our product. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to invite Praxeda for your presentation.
So hello everyone, I'm Praxeda from Lithuania and from the startup Innocensus. At Innocensus we are creating gluten biosensor which can rapidly detect the presence of gluten in the food. Why? Because it is estimated that 1 in 7 Europeans, the same in USA, are gluten intolerant or with celiac disease. And even a small amount of gluten can increase can increase very bad issues for the health. So first of all, I would like to explain that gluten biosensor is a complex solution composed of several key components. First of all, it's a device, a hardware. Sometimes it's called a potentiostat. Later, second is a container with where you can put the food and also with a special liquid buffer inside. Then sensor, screen printed electrode with different layers on it, and software system which can detect the real-time gluten test results. So our purpose of during Epicenter project, our purpose of deliverable 3 was to develop that screen printed electrode for gluten detection, which can be included in all gluten detection system or can be sold separately for companies. First of all, we are also, of course, analyze the requirements, and we made a list including B2C and B2B aspects. The second, our goal was to optimize the prototype, and we made hundreds experiments. Unfortunately, we faced a key technological issues, and it was antibody immobilization. Our third goal was to develop a software system for gluten detection and to adapt it. And we compare our software system with well-known other 2 devices in the market. It's EVIM and PalmSense, and we are very happy that Innocensus matches the performance of other certified devices. The fourth goal was to perform validation, and we tested 12 different food samples, including pasta, cookies, and so on. And here we met also technological challenge. It's also related with antibody immobilization and other some kind of issues. And the accuracy we achieved, it was less than 85%, as our goal was 95%. I just want to mention that in our deliverable 2 Epicenter project, we identified sensor sensitivity and accuracy as a high risk challenges. And about, as I mentioned before, about challenges and bad news, they're also sometimes, transferred to good news. So other components through Epicenter project were developed and progressed faster than we expected. And I'm talking about the hardware and the software, which we achieved TRL 8. Also, we signed 2 letters of intent with with partners for manufacturing it. During Epicenter project, and while we are working with electrochemical technology to create gluten sensor, the electrode that I was explaining to you in the beginning of my presentation, we faced a problem that we were using one channel potential stat, that the hardware laboratory measurement device. And with that device, we can, at that time, we can measure just 1-2 electrodes per day with that device. And of course, we started to looking to buy it, but the price was from 20,000 to 80,000 or 90,000 euros. As a startup, we did not had so much money, so we decided to adapt our hardware for gluten detection and to create hardware with 6-channel, a multi-channel potential stat, which drastically improved our testing efficiency and accelerate the gluten detection process. So this is how our prototype, the hardware looks like. I have also here packages packed already, so if you would like, I can show you. And our hardware supports 6 independent channels. It works with screen-printed electrodes and also reusable electrodes. It has 3 different measurement techniques. And it's capable to work also with the reusable electrodes. This is how it looks, our software. And I would like to mention that this software that we developed for gluten detection can be used not only for gluten detection, but also for other food allergens such as lactose or nuts, also for other parts like blood or glucose, so it can be used for other biosensors. And our software features like with a user-friendly interface and also no installation needed. So to finalize, in Epicenter project, our goal was to create and to develop TRL 8, a gluten sensor, a screen-printed electrode, but we pivot and still we have a plan how to increase the accuracy of our electrode, but it takes time and additional financing. But now I'm presenting multi-channel InnoSensus potential set that can measuring not only gluten sensors, but other sensors, and it could be adapted to other biosensors. And the data shows that biosensor market will be doubled in the next 5-10 years. So this is our opportunity. Our target for corporation, we're looking companies who are working with proteins and who can help us to develop faster gluten electrode. Then device and software companies, moreover, companies who would like to test our user experience, and in this way we will improve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now it's time for Aiste, please.
So hello everyone. I am Aiste Balčinaitė, and I'm Doctor of Material Science and I'm CEO of Biofita. So today we will present, as our colleague from Spain told, that actually we have really big problem in all Europe, and it's not in all Europe, but in all world is aging. And at today, we have about 20% people who are more than 60 years old in Europe. And in 2050, we will have more than 30%. And that means that we are really facing the problem in healthcare system. And one of the most important problem is bed sores. And as you know, it's really, really painful and can very easy to get infections from bacterials, from virus, from fungus. And that's problem is that all of us, we have fungus in our body. We have Staphylococcus aureus bacteria and also Escherichia coli and beta hemolysical streptococcal bacteria and others. So actually what we can now find in the market, it's quite a big equipment like beds and creams or other things, but they are not working so well, or they are very expensive for, how to say, for simple people. And by the way, we have to find a solution how to fight that with these bacterials which are resistant for antibiotics. So actually we found two solutions. So one of these, we are create a mat for bed sores. This product, it's patent, we have worldwide patent, which were the top 10, the most important patent in 2021 in Singapore. And this is have a strong antimicrobial activity for gram-positive, for gram-negative from fungus, and also for bacterials which are now resistant for antibiotics. So for example, you can put this on the bed and put your hands or your elbows or your whole body which have a contact with your bones. And regarding the temperature of our body, it's about 37 degrees. The bioactive compounds slowly go on the surface of that mat and help and prevent the infections and prevent that bad sores. And other solutions which were working also, we have created gels only from natural. They have no antibiotics. We have created such biological active compounds which, how to say, killing bacterials, and also they making our skin more dry, and they can protect from damage where you can find that infection in the beginning. So now we are looking for markets. Our products are ready to market. So first hospital, second of course retirement house, pharmacy, and online shops. And as we know, the market, it's really growing and very fast growing. So we have to go to markets as soon as possible, what we are planning to do. And here's, it's actually part of team. So it's me, I am a doctor, also a professor from chemistry, from biochemistry, from agriculture, and marketing specialists, also lawyers and other team. So actually now we're looking for partners and for investors. And I would like to say big thanks for Epicenter team, who helps a lot to create that product and to combine that product together. So thank you, and we're looking for contact.
Thank you very much. And it's time for smart epigenetics.
Okay. Hello, I will say again, my name is Mircea Dragoș Ivanov, and I'm the co-founder of Smart Epigenetics. We have two projects actually, NutriCare and Heal Eat. We applied with Heal Eat at the Epicenter, and it's what we planned to develop in this period of time that we are members of the program. So we are a digital health platform. We look into methods of applying health digitally. So that's why we look at holistic digital implementation. We take in consideration that 1 in 2 individuals are looking for healthy, let's say, lifestyle. It includes eating, of course. We are focused on nutrition. This is what we do. We do specialized nutrition. And to do this, we look firstly at genetics. We look also at the microbiome. We also take a look at metabolomics. And alongside that, we have physical activity and diet that gives us a whole picture of how a person is, like their status, their health status. We developed this solution to help patients and also healthcare professionals. We do this by offering a platform that has a lot of features. So we can take a look at the fact that you take care of your food, you take care of your lifestyle, you have people to help you, you have a digital platform, you have all kind of support in terms of supplements here, nutritional deficiencies. So what you don't eat, you should supplement. We also have specialists. So if you need a second medical opinion, we have tests down with gut microbiome, nutrigenetic, pharmacogenetic, blood, urine. So basically, we put everything that a person would need to take care of their own health in a platform. On top of this, we give, let's say, programs where a nutritionist comes in and will take care of your program, of your plan, because we are looking at a period of time of about 3 months, let's say, that's an intervention plan. And based on your needs, we will satisfy them with a nutritionist. And on top of this, if you have even, let's say, more needs or you want to look further with medical opinions, we give also medical opinions on top of the nutrition. So the package overall tries to look at all the possibilities to solve your objectives. You come to us with your goal. I need to satisfy this. I want to take care of my diabetes, for example. And then we take a look how we can do that, who is available to help you, and what type of tests and other technologies will support this healing journey, let's say. Yeah, okay. This, at the end, I just wanted to point out that these are products and services that we can deliver. For example, one is personalized nutrition supplements. So we print them specifically tailored to your needs. What we want to do from here on, do a pilot project in any of the areas covered here with a corporate from Epicenter. We are complementary with many verticals or departments of areas of business. And on the side, we will go forward with our well-being program. It's what we have done, the Heal Eat project within Epicenter, where we put together the patients and the healthcare professionals. And we want to scale it in Romania. We are from Romania to the EU and later in the USA. And now I would like to show you a demonstration of what we have developed. And because I couldn't connect with my phone, I will play some recordings. The first recording would be the patient on the mobile. This is what he sees. On top, there is proteins, fat, and carbs, and energy. Here is the deficiencies, vitamins, where you are deficient and where you are optimal, how you can replace them with what type of foods. This is physical activity. If you have Aura, Fitbit, wearables, you can sync them or you can add values by yourself. That graph over there gives you an overview of all your micro and micronutrients, exact quantities, and we compare them with European Food and Safety dietary guidelines. But we can compare it with your test if you have it. So instead of comparing it with standard, we can compare it with what the test has revealed about you. Okay, we go further to the monitoring part of the patient. If this, yeah, perfect. So this is how your data is recorded: hemoglobin, blood pressure, HOMA. There are multitudes of, let's say, measurements that we can do. Now we have selected some of them because in the future we can incorporate even with Convert Care, for example, that presented earlier. Here is a scheduling platform. So I want to have a text chat about this. Please give me some of the specialists in your partners, because we have cardiologs, endocrinologs, nutritionists, physical trainers, psychiatrists, and so on. So we look at the whole range of, let's say, diseases or objectives that we can satisfy. And now I will show a recording of the healthcare provider dashboard. So this is how he sees the patients, the recipes, ingredients that's in the recipes, and the meal plan. It is based on a number of kilocalories, but he can make their own. We also have predefined diets. That's why you see over there predefined. This is how a patient would look like. It's inside his profile. This is info, like general info, his weight, his anthropometrical data, and so on. Here is the status. We have accountability. That's why we want them to put some pictures. For example, you need to eat potatoes with meat, and you will make a picture, and the specialist will see that you logged your meal, let's say. Or you did some physical activity, you will take a picture while you're walking, and also the specialist that takes care of you has this insight for the accountability part of the program. It's important to do what it's recommended. We go further. This Eat Right, it's about, let's say, the micro and macronutrients level, if you're deficient, optimal, or exceeded, how you can replace them, what are the repercussions in the future. There are a lot of studies that we based our recommendations on, and we have made a clinical study to prove our solution. Here is a little bit of the developments made in the future to add or edit supplements based on his progress in the diet. And I think this is the first screen as well. So yeah, this was it. Basically, I wanted to actually interact with you on the phone and the live demo, but there was these recordings. Thank you very much. Thank you for Epicenter for providing everything that they give.
Yeah, thank you very much for all speakers. And I think now we have time, a lot of questions. And firstly, I would like to ask maybe questions from audience. Who will be first and who want to ask our speakers? Who has a question? Not yet? Not prepared? Okay. I will be first. We'll start with questions, and I will come back to Arturo. And what kind of feedback or results have you received from initial testing and pilot, and what are improvements?
Okay, we already are testing the system with different kind of canning facilities. The feedback is positive. We found out that our system is able to perform at the speeds needed. We are developing and evolving the system to inspect more defects, different defects, because depending on the factory, they have more concernings about some defects or others. And this is our future evolution. We want to inspect more different defects, more different materials, and we want to improve the system in this way.
Thank you very much. And question for Alexandro. What makes Dermalife more effective in treating radiodermatitis compared to current cosmetic solutions?
Yeah. First of all, Dermalife is a medical device, so it means that we are conducting clinical trials under international regulation on our product, and the efficacy and the safety of the product is fully demonstrated by independent clinical trials. The main activities that we, well, let's say, we are, Dermalife is a borderline medical device, so it means that it's not only a mechanical effect as required to be recognized as medical device, but also we can claim some metabolic effect. As I told, our active inside the product are essential fatty acids that can act as immunomodulating active.
Thank you very much. And now, question from Praxeda. For Praxeda, in what ways do you anticipate your gluten biosensor could impact the food industry's approach to labeling and certification for gluten-free products?
Very good question. we made interviews with different manufacturing companies and suppliers. We made during Epicenter project like 15 interviews, and we see that our that manufacturing companies and suppliers are not our target customers, because there are no European Union regulation to test every batch of the producing something, like it doesn't matter, is it cookies or is it raw material. The regulation says that it is that companies should test is there gluten or no, if they are labeling gluten-free 1 or 2 times per year. So there are no headache for those companies, because we, first of all, we were thinking that our business case is, B2B, that to sell the solution for manufacturing companies. But they do not have the headache. So what's the problem? We are labeling, this is gluten-free. And for example, manufacturing companies who are producing cookies, they said that they trust their suppliers, but suppliers are testing just 1-2 times per year. So we see that our solution can affect in the good way that if even European Union do not change the regulation of testing, so maybe from the customer side, from the end of the user side who has celiac disease or gluten intolerance, they will speak loudly that this is the problem, because the research studies showed that while people were trying to follow a gluten-free diet, up to 50% of patients were consuming gluten unintentionally. 50%. This is from European study. In USA was another study that shows that they tested more than 800 different products, pasta, cookies, or etc. And they found that 32% of them, it was labeled gluten-free. They found gluten. So from my perspective, companies who are producing gluten-free foods or meals, it's a little bit like scam, because so I think that our solution will affect the customers, the end of the customers, first of all, and then they will affect the companies.
Thank you very much. And one question for Aiste. What are key challenges in developing functional hydrogels from food waste, and how do you ensure materials are both environmentally friendly and highly effective in this application?
Oh, it was actually very hard to create, but how to say, we work in big team where we have professors and a lot of professors and doctors in that area, not from material science, but also from chemistry, from biochemistry. So yes, it was quite a long road. How to say, first we get gels, but they're working only on gram-positive bacterials and not for gram-negative. So then we have to create again. So then we have good activity from gram-negative, but not good for fungus. And later on, it was, for example, bad smell. So we took so long time to create that everything works good, works together, and have that activity which we are looking for.
Thank you very much. So, and question for Mitchell. Yeah. What are the biggest technical challenges in developing a seamless integration between a platform and food retail chains and mobile apps? How are addressing them?
Thank you for the question. Yes, one complementary service to others is provided by retail chain providers like Carrefour or Kaufland or so on, because they sell food and beverages, and in our application, the outcome is a food list and a supplement list. So based on the food list, you could send the order towards this kind of retail chain supplier, and he can make the order over there. Let's say you give him the list, somebody takes care of the order, you just go in and take your bag, or today somebody can deliver the bag to you. And this is the connection that we can make. And the challenges appear when we try to sync our databases. For example, our food list has 1 kilogram of cheese, but the supermarket has 5 types of cheeses, and they have different nutritional facts. One has pepper, one has salt, or so on. And we are very accurate in looking at micro and macro nutrients. So the challenge is to take care that each item in the database of the supermarket is reflected accurately from this nutritional point of view, and we are not going to let's say, give a wrong food list, because it's one thing to say want 1 kilogram of cheese, and then it's very hard to say exact quantity of vitamin A, B, C, D in the cheese. So this is the challenge that appears, and we are going to face it and overcome it by making a regular, maybe weekly or even couple days, or an API between the supermarket and us from their warehouses, probably their warehouse management system, to our application, in which, okay, you select this supermarket, okay, in this supermarket these products are available to fulfill your food list. And this has to be done daily, weekly, very each time a product is withdrawn from the shelf or added to the shelf.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we have time for one question from audience, and I see.
For the biosensor for gluten, you said that the accuracy is below 90%, like something, but it's mainly a problem of sensitivity or specificity, because the two problems are quite different.
Yeah,
one is for economical reason, and the other for the safety of the patient.
actually both. Because we face the technological issues transforming from the solution from laboratory conditions to the real world applications. Before we used reusable electrodes, and then we switched to screen printed electrodes. So to answer to your question is both, because gluten protein is very difficult protein, and also there are problems with cross-contamination, because so probably I answered. Thank you.
Thank you very much for questions, for answers, and thank you very much for your presentations. I think you will have possibility to discuss during next coffee break. And thank you, and that's all.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Gidrius, and all the startups that presented their solution. And now it's time for the final panel discussion on new health frontiers through innovation. So let's welcome our panelists that are Helena with the Brat, Tommaso with the Yuval, Arianna with the Wellang, and Alec will be connected online because he had problem with his flight, so he will join us with this presentation online. So would you like to present your solution? Helena, would you begin your presentation? Yes, please. You should have okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Helena, and today I want to talk about schizophrenia, something that people don't see. To begin with, I want everyone to close their eyes, just for 20 seconds, no more, and just listen. you can open your eyes. Thank you for listening. I guess it was quite disturbing, but this is the reality of many people with schizophrenia. Just to give you a good idea, around 10% of adult population experiences auditory hallucinations at some point in their life, but 70% of those are people with schizophrenia who experience it daily, and exactly in this amount that you just heard. Some people hear one voice, some people hear up to 1 million voices, so it's very disturbing. Voices can be very deteriorating. People cannot understand what's happening in their life. They don't have any control over it. It's the voice that tells them what to do, whom to hurt, and how to deal with everyday situations. It's a problem of serious unmet need, because on one side, we don't have only healthcare costs, but also the societal costs, because these patients with schizophrenia, they cannot work in most of the cases. They cannot take care of themselves. They are just confiscated in their houses, and that's the reality. 5% of patients suffering from schizophrenia are actually delivering 50% of cost of mental health care in most of the countries in European Union, but probably also globally, which transfers to 1.5 million euros per patient as a lifetime cost of untreated schizophrenia. So both healthcare and societal cost. Why am I saying this? Is because that current options are not good enough. They're good, and they work for some patients, but they don't work for all the patients, and that's why we are here. So antipsychotics, they have a lot of side effects. Patients sometimes feel very agitated. Talking therapy, so cognitive behavioral therapy is a golden standard in psychiatry, but doesn't work for all patients. And there is therapy in virtual reality, but they don't help the very severe patients. So what we did, we merged one concept called avatar therapy, which is kind of, you can consider it as a cognitive behavioral therapy on steroids, and virtual reality. And this is how it looks like. So patient and the therapist is the one on the left. So the therapist is facilitating the therapy and actual conversation between the patient voice. The voice is externalized. Patient sees the voice in virtual reality, makes a conversation, and patient is actually standing up against the voice. So this is how it looks like. So patient is basically creating the avatar of its voice to talk to it. It's very abstract, I know, but try to look into it. So this is where we actually create an avatar. This is the first session between the patient and the therapist. You create different facial features, skin color, hair color, different, I don't know, hair types, whatever you want to do. And on the next step, you actually create the voice that patient hears. Again, it's very abstract, but just listen, so you will see how the voice is actually changing, and patient is doing this with the therapist. You're using the knobs to change the voice to more feminine, more masculine, depending on what patient hears. So patient is, in this moment, taking things out of his head or her head into a software. Once they do that, let's assume that this was quite a fast process. Usually it takes around 1 hour for the patients. So what you see on the left is actually what patient sees in the session. So there are 7 to 9 sessions in total over 12 weeks. And patient is sitting in the room, as you saw in that first photo, and looks into the avatar and tells the avatar, hey, I'm not a bad person. I don't want to hurt anyone. Please step aside. And this is how you're kind of shifting the power balance between the voice and the patient. So the patient comes here in the end. And this is actually the screenshot of the dashboard that the therapist is using, because the therapist is the one switching the role between the avatar and the therapist. Yeah, we published some of the research articles, first being the protocol for the actual therapy that we did in a largest to date trial in virtual reality and avatar therapy, and of course some experiences. Our publication for the trial in Denmark is not published. It's in peer review. I can share that we know that the results are positive, but the actual effect you will see one day when the results are published, which will probably happen within the next month. I just also wanted to introduce Vibeke. This is one of our dearest patients. She has been hearing voices for 27 years, listening to things You are worthless. You're not, you're a piece of shit. I'm sorry for my language, but this is what they actually hear. And after 27 years, she managed to kind of take it off. She's completely voices free. And this is not the effect that we are aiming for. We just want people to have those voices in control. Not every patient wants their voices to go back, get away, because some of them are also nice voices. This is also a map of all the trials and patients that are testing the device at the moment. We also have a remote version, which is tested in Australia. It's a huge continent. You cannot cover everyone. So this is also one aspect we took into account. And it's not only that we are the most used solution for virtual reality-based avatar therapy, but also we are now looking into eating disorder, bipolar disorder, OCD, and borderline personality disorder plus depression. These are all my colleagues, an amazing team. We are covering all the business areas, and yeah, we owe success to every one of us. We of course have industry and scientific leaders from Denmark advising us, and of course board of patient ambassadors who are actually patients with lived experiences. A lot of partners and supporters who actually see the potential of the solution. Again, the market is actually moving in our direction, so we kind of think we're the first runners. But of course, by 2031, there will be a lot of a need for virtual reality solutions in healthcare, not only for schizophrenia, but also for other diseases. And this is just an overview of how much people believe in us, because by now the project got almost 6 million euros of the research part, and a portion of it, 2.2 million euros, actually went to technical development, where we developed the solution together with the voice modulation. We also got some awards that again proves that we are probably on the right track, and hopefully as a next stage we will actually be able to commercialize. We already have some purchase intents, so that would be it from my side. And yeah, if you have any questions about reality of schizophrenia patients and how we treat it with virtual reality, feel free to contact me.
Thank you, Helena. Now, please, Tommaso, could you present your innovative solution?
Okay, thank you. Many thanks to the Epicenter team for this opportunity, because it's a great pleasure for me to present you the Juvan platform. And before going deep into the presentation, I would like to ask you two questions. The first one is, if have you ever wondered how many surgical operations must a young surgeon perform to become a skilled surgeon? Well, the second question is, have you ever wondered how many surgical operations must a skilled surgeon perform every year? And these questions are important because at the moment, healthcare system worldwide, they're facing a decrease in healthcare operators. But on the other hand side, they're facing an increasing demand for more personalized and complex medical services. And there is one element that widens this gap between the request from the patients and the response from the healthcare system, which is actually the current training processes of doctors and surgeons. Because these processes are nowadays artisanal processes, meaning that they are thought on the job. It means during real clinical practices or during real surgical operations. And this implies a number of issues like very long formation times, increased formation costs. It goes impacting on direct and indirect surgery-associated costs. And it's very risky for the patient, which is probably the most important thing. And this, in fact, goes nurturing another big problem of healthcare, which is medical malpractice, meaning medical errors, which cause significant waste in healthcare expenditure. Worldwide, it was about 15% of the total expenditure waste in 2021. And it basically makes patients feel unsafe when undergoing medical treatments or surgical operations. And so in this sense, now the question is, how is it possible to practice and rehearse on real patients, but without the patient outside the operating room at sustainable costs? And this is possible thanks to a medical simulation platform that is Juvent, which was actually built to accelerate and increase the efficiency of doctors and surgeons' formation processes, in analogy with what happens with F1 or flight simulators. And Juvent is natively a digital platform in the sense that it integrates and combines in a single solution a single simulation solution, both physical elements and virtual elements. And it connects in a closed loop practical training programs and digital technologies that we developed in-house. And the physical part of the platforms are haptic simulators that are physical replicas of anatomical parts that are not only anatomical replicas, they are more functional replicas in the sense that they respond like biological tissues. While the digital counterpart consists of a library of hundreds of virtual models that are pathology specific and that can be displayed through augmented reality or mixed reality environments. And thanks to the MP Center program, we had the opportunity to develop an interactive platform that enable us to actually track and get data out of the user's performance while experiencing simulation. And that basically enable us to push further this integration between the physical and the digital part of the platform. And to do that, we selected a specific use case, which is a clinical use case that is largely adopted both in nephrology and in intensive care units. That is the insertion of central venous catheter, which basically consists in inserting a flexible tube into the neck of a patient. It's largely adopted and there is a high failure rate. So this is an interesting use case. It's a good test bed for testing the platform. And this is the way we envisioned before the sustain phase, actually, the platform. You can see there is a physical replica of a human neck with compliant veins and arteries. And that system there is made by soft active materials, meaning that they have embedded sensing capability, which means that they respond to external stimuli. And then by using augmented reality, it is possible to superimpose, let's say, digital anatomical information over this model with an approach that is analog to that of the digital twins. And then by embedding sensor into surgical tools, it is possible to cross-connect these elements and to actually track and get data out of this procedure to measure user performance. So we first validated this solution in-house with our R&D team, and we were supported by our scientific board, which is made by key opinion leaders in nephrology. And after this validation of the prototype, then we further validate that into the framework of hands-on courses, so let's say in a relevant environment. We trained 15 to 20 students at the Medical Simulation Theater in Milan, that is our simulation center. And that was done in collaboration with the University of Milan and with the Postgraduate School of Nephrology of the same university. Now we gather data, we are on the verge of processing them and on the verge of organizing other courses like that to further validate the solution. And from the market perspective, we believe that this solution can be channeled, let's say, or conveyed in a B2B model with the three main key players that are dealing with formation, learning, and education in healthcare, whom we are already interacting with. And they are hospitals, medical centers, medical devices companies, and scientific associations. They all work together as a system at different levels in training and education. We are somewhere in between providing them services, and we all together are trying to improve the overall quality of the system. So thank you for your attention. If you want to reach out, these are our contacts. And again, many thanks to the Epicenter team for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommaso. And now it's time for you, Arianna, with the Voice Med.
Have you ever talked to a person and hear that this person was sick just by listening to his voice? So if you did, you subconsciously analyze a vocal biomarker. Is a change in the acoustic resonance. It can be of voice, but also of breathing or of cough sound. And this is very important because it can give health information. It can unlock health information that are currently held in our voice, in our breathing, in our cough. So now imagine that you wake up and you say, "Good morning, VoiceMed," and the system can help you to know if you need to go to the doctor or not, even before symptoms may appear. This is the future that we are building for at VoiceMed. We are building a vocal biomarker factory, so an industry that can generate vocal biomarker in order to make healthcare more proactive. And this doesn't happen only with flu, okay? The vocal biomarker can be found in neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson, Alzheimer. They can be found in heart-related diseases like heart failure, and also in lung diseases. And we started by lung diseases like asthma, COPD, because they are a big burden on the society, no? Third leading cause of death, more than 115 billion of cost, and 500,000 of avoidable deaths. And currently, the lung function are only performed in clinical settings. So there is a need of solution that can measure lung information outside in the patient point of care. And that's what our solution is for now. Our solution allows anyone with a microphone-based device, including smartphone, to measure lung health information. So we started with simple tasks to then move forward to free speech. No? So our current task is 3 deep breathing and a vocalization, and then the person will receive the result. We analyze 2 important information. First, the lung function. We compared our acoustic analysis with the traditional spirometry test, which is the gold standard test where you blow in this machine and you measure how much quantity of air you are breathing out. This is important for asthma, for COPD, for example. So we are replicating that in a way that we use this acoustic analysis and in a more scalable way. And currently we have 80% of correlation, and we've done the initial clinical studies at Humanitas Hospital, which is the first hospital in Italy for AI in healthcare. And second, we can, assuming that the person, for example, now has normal lung function, so supposedly is healthy, we can analyze the risk for the person to develop a chronic respiratory condition, including lung cancer, asthma, and COPD. And this is important because we want to push for proactive healthcare. We want to avoid people getting sick. We want to push them to stop smoking, to increase their fitness level, to do everything possible in order to reduce their health risk, at the moment connected to lung health. So it's interesting because our technology can generate more biomarkers because we have built our own foundation model. So it is like ChatGPT, but works with audio. So we can go even behind what we currently measure in lung health, for example, and we can expand even to other disease areas. So a market potential of 23 billion. And we are not pushing for a standalone app, for example, no? But we push for our technology to be integrated into any digital healthcare app. This can come from telehealth, telemedicine, health insurance that push preventive programs. And we have a subscription based on the number of usage. So the client doesn't need to pay if their users don't use it. And the way to integrate our technology is very fast. No? In our first pilot, integrated into 2 hours, is a simple software development kit or API, so it's very easy to have it. So if you do have a digital health platform, come to talk with us because we can show you how easy it is to integrate a lung function measurement into your app. And last year, we did a paid pilot with the first telehealth company. So we integrated our technology, and they created a fitness program for moving people that were unfit and have a higher risk, of developing, for example, cardiovascular diseases, to fitness level, to a higher fitness level. And within our measurement, more than 95% of the user could do the program, and actually 85 improved their health. So the way that our measurement can push people, can motivate people to do a healthy lifestyle, it was proven, at least in the pilot that we did. We also, this is just a first pilot because we also have 15 active conversation with big players, including a player in Spain that have more than 2 million members. And we have collected 6 letters of intent or MIU. And this is also thanks to our partners who are key in improving our trust towards our stakeholders. So there are some companies now that are working on vocal biomarkers field, but first of all, we are the more advanced for lung health. We are the only one who actually created a working proof of concept. And this is due to the dataset, because unfortunately, there are not public available dataset of sounds, acoustic sounds connected to spirometry tests, for example. So we created from scratch. We dedicate more than 4 years here. And now we have the biggest dataset, increasing to 150 patients every month now. So that data is also outdated. And this is due to both our partnership and the fact that we have already an app on the market that also collects data in real life world. So we have a good team. I'm also a contract professor in Cattolica University for healthcare innovation. So I try to push healthcare innovation in different fields. And our CTO, Fulvio, is an expert in vocal biomarker technology. Now he's a biomedical engineer by training. And the other co-founder manage clinical and regulatory affairs. So we can really execute, this project. And we are going towards the certification as a medical device software, class 1. So the first use case is going to be pre-screening, so that if you analyze abnormal lung function, then the person is fast-tracked toward a visit with the doctor. So at this stage, we are not substituting the spirometry. Now we are adding an additional layer for making a faster diagnosis and a more proactive healthcare. So we are looking for corporates, any corporates that has a digital health platform or connection with these corporates, because we can add our lung function measurement to all their users, and also investors. We already are backed by investors and several grants and awards so far. And we feel that this is the right moment because, not only the smartphone adoption has grown so fast, also the AI power has grown so fast. Now we can rely on such good techniques. And also digital checkups like the one that we do, or the video analysis for vital signs are increasing. So really, we don't need additional hardware to distribute. We can rely on digital checkups for initial screening and then go deeper with a physical in-person visit in case abnormalities are detected. So that is it. Thank you so much. And feel free to scan the QR code. You can put your email so we can send you the demo to try, and you can be part of our journey in order to bring lung health to everyone, to empower them to achieve a better health thanks to vocal biomarkers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Arianna, for your insightful presentation. And now we have the connection with Alec online with the Raspberry Bit.
Hello, everyone. Can you see the screen?
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Alec.
great. It's my pleasure to present to you AsthmaFit, which is aiming at safe and active living with asthma. It's a major chronic condition. There are 400 million people with asthma worldwide. The total direct and indirect cost is around 100 billion. And despite all our efforts and medications, it's still a major cause of hospitalization, indeed one of the leading causes for children. So AsthmaFit is a unique value proposition because it is the first asthma management system that can predict and prevent an asthma attack. And indeed, we have a US patent issued for the entire system, including hardware and software. And the software is a multi-component system which has several AI models within it. So how does AsthmaFit work? Well, here is an example with Anna in Thessaloniki having coffee, and she's a user of AsthmaFit, so that's the device there, and she's using the AsthmaFit app. And in this app, she enters her activity and symptoms, which is directed to the cloud. And then during the day, the device is monitoring her exposure to the 3 Ps, pollutants, particulates, and pollen. And this data also goes to the cloud, where it is analyzed by our software. And from the analysis, we extract a risk analysis for the day, which can be used to modify her activity during the day. And of course, if things change during the day, a real-time update of the risk analysis is sent to Anna. So because of the increased awareness of ANA and activity modification real-time adjustments, we expect that this solution can decrease asthma attacks 60 to 80% in people with inadequate controlled asthma, leading to significant savings per person per year. So compared to the existing commercial products right now, there's two approaches. One approach focuses on symptom monitoring. There's many solutions there. And there's another group of products that really are air quality monitoring, and they kind of add on an asthma component to this. But what you really need to do is to combine exposure with symptoms, because exposure is what is driving asthma and causing asthma attacks. So that is what we've done from the very beginning. And the market is growing strongly right now. For 2030, it is about 77 billion. The monitoring is to the group of companies that I showed is expected to reach 1.7, but it's also expected that asthma management is an emerging sector that we believe we can have a significant presence in this as a first entry. So based on our business model, which is to provide the system at a minimal price point and a subscription service to those with severe asthma, we believe we can launch in Greece and expand within 4 years to UK at a reasonable cost with strong revenues. The team is Christodos and myself. We're both engineers, different backgrounds, second-time co-founders. We have complementary background and complementary experience. We have a broad pulmonary medical team supporting us, and also an electrical engineering academic team supporting us. We have just completed, thanks to Epicenter, our first pilot study, including of 15 patients in operational conditions. And it met our expectations, and we're now planning the second phase, which is a broader interventional study for which we are seeking a first investment for us as a company. And our vision as a company is really to expand this monitoring of symptoms and exposure, which we believe can lead us to information on not only on the state of asthma, but also on the asthma endotype. And this, in fact, leads to precision medicine, which is where everything is moving to. And even beyond that, we can actually help to evaluate the efficacy of biologics for asthma, and even be part of digital companions that are also being developed. For these reasons, we were already part of two technology challenges that were related to asthma. So thank you for your attention. If everyone is interested to join this Blue Ocean opportunity, you can connect with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Alec. Now I have some question for you panelists, for Helena. How do you foresee your solution will impact the future treatment of schizophrenia and other mental health disorders?
Can you hear me? Okay. So in our mind, HECAVR does not want to replace the current options. So there is antipsychotics which actually work quite well for that patient group, and you do have cognitive behavioral therapy as a golden standard. HECAVR is just something else to add on top of those options, because some patients, actually 30% of patients, don't react to current therapy options. So we also see HECAVR as something that's more immersive, more engaging, and more accessible. And when I say more engaging, it means that patient can actually interact with the hallucination way better than with any other treatment option, because the hallucinations are so hardly instilled in patient's mind that once you externalize them, which you cannot do with other options, actually makes it so much easier to patient to engage. And that's what we are trying to achieve here, and what we actually have achieved. We can replicate this this methodology also with some other illnesses, such as eating disorder, because there is a lot of negative self-talk in this case. Again, with OCD, even with severe cases of depression. So we are literally trying to work with all those severe mental health illnesses, because with the moderate or mild ones, there are so many options, and this is patient group that costs the most. So we definitely see potential to transform mental health care, but not in a way that we replace everything else, but that we just give an option to all those who don't have that therapy option.
And now for Tommaso. What are the specific advantages of your digital tracking platform compared to traditional simulation training methods in terms of accuracy and also real-time tracking? And also another connected question, How do you plan to scale your technology to address other clinical or surgical procedures outside nephrology in the future?
Okay, thank you. Well, let's say in terms of accuracy itself, let's say our platform works, let's say properly, but depending on what is the thing you really need to measure for a specific use case. For example, in this CBC use case, it was not necessary to have a huge precision, for example, in measuring the insertion angle of the catheter. That was sufficient as it is. But I think that the main advantage relies on the fact that we are using actually active simulators, meaning that they respond to external stimuli, and we integrate these with digital information that can be, let's say, integrated with these simulators. And in this sense, you go towards simulators that can be, let's say, conceived in the framework of soft robotic systems, if you want, so you can interact actually with them. And this, let's say, solution basically tends to try to, let's say, save and preserve competency transmission. Because, you know, it's not necessarily true that a skilled surgeon is a good teacher. You don't have time to teach. You don't have many opportunities to teach. And so with these systems, it is possible, if you want to preserve and to help this knowledge transmission and know-how transmission in such a way that you basically standardize the training and do not let it only in the artisanal framework. For trying to shift this solution to other use cases, I think that it's absolutely possible. We are already working on that because, let's say, the software is ready. We produce a number of simulators that are, let's say, related to different anatomical districts. And so the idea is you change the content, but you preserve the function if you want.
Thank you. And now, Oriana, how can VoiceMed increase the potential of preventive health program? And what kind of partnership or collaboration do you foresee as crucial in expanding VoiceMed market? And also, if you foresee a connection with other ideas, innovative ideas that we saw today, as the one of Raspberry Bits.
Yeah, thank you. So the first question was about the preventive healthcare, no? So, for example, now we're discussing with Johnson & Johnson, which has one of the products for stop smoking, Nicorette. So the idea is to push them as we did in our pilot, no? So there is a program, it can be for stop smoking or for increase fitness level. And there is a measurement that the person can have in the app. So the person can measure it, for example, in this stop smoking program at the beginning. Even if they don't have respiratory issue, they normally have a lower lung function compared to other, especially if they smoke long years. And the one that want to smoke normally also have other health issues, and that's why they decided to stop smoking. So the way that we push is simple, is through an objective measurement that they do at the beginning and through the program once a month, for example. So seeing this value that is improving, for example, if they actually stop smoking, is a motivation for them. It's a similar concept to the wearable, but unfortunately for lung health, there is nothing so far that is very accessible. While the wearable can measure heartbeat to a certain extent, some of them are actually accurate. But yeah, in a similar way, so we put the measurement in front of you, and then you cannot pretend that nothing is happening to your lungs, okay? So it's a way to motivate them. And the partnership, so going to your second question, well, hospitals for validation, for clinical validation, they helped us also in the creation of the product, no, of the initial data set, and also for trust, because we are building something new, and it's hard always to educate the user, the doctors, even if our solution is not prescribed, no, it's pushed from our clients as a checkup that the person needs to do once a year, for example. But still, the education needs to be there, and having us backed by certain partners in the hospital settings increase our trust. And we only have now 4 partners. That is Humanitas, as mentioned, San Camillo Forlanini of Italy, because last year they won a prize of the best pulmonologist and cardiology department as public hospital, ASLA of Turin, and the Laboratory National Santé of Luxembourg. So we want to expand to a broader clinical studies in other even countries. So that's definitely one side. And going back to the potential synergies with other companies, well, we have a plug-in technology, so it can both integrate into the, for example, the asthma fit technology, the device, for example, because with any device with a microphone, it can be integrated. So either, for example, in their product, in order to measure lung function, which for sure people with asthma need, it's one target, but also the company that presented before within their voice analysis for the insurance sector, imaging for health insurance sector. Now it can also be a channel. So in the normal voice line.
Yes,
So.
because sometimes we have a lot of app or application or digital device, and maybe if we merge all together, we can
Exactly.
a unique solution.
Exactly.
For,
That's why
respiratory.
we focused on the technology behind. We also
Yeah.
have our own app, of course, because to collect data and so on. We also have an asthma app, for example,
Yeah.
on the market that is organically growing for giving us data. But we believe in a healthcare that is going to be, you know, the next layer, and this digital checkup will happen in 1, 2, 3 places, and this, I believe, this will be national guided. Or geographically guided from the region, for example.
Yeah.
And so we are ready to integrate whenever we are, as soon as we have the CE mark.
Okay, thank you, Oriana. For you, Alec, how does your approach improve the accuracy and reliability of asthma symptoms predication compared to the already existing solutions?
Yes, well, because we are monitoring both exposure and symptoms, and actually modulating these based on the user's activity, we, over time, you build up a chronic symptom, chronic exposure, correlate these, and then you can actually start making predictions about how these people will respond in the next day based on their intended activity. So in the pilot 1 that we just completed thanks to Epicenter, we actually validated that this is not just validated, but quantified this correlation in the field with asthma patients being exposed to different aspects in the environment. And also it was interesting to see how in certain exposure metrics, different patients behaved in correlated to demonstrated a similar correlation, but in certain other pollutants, there were large differences between people. So this also indicates that there's the potential for endotyping the different subtypes of asthma, for example, allergic or eosinophilic, which we know from research that there are many types and they do vary due to chronic exposure to different things. So the main advantage that we have that we've designed this from the beginning as an asthma prediction tool. So it's not something that you can ad hoc add on to, let's say, an exposure monitoring solution. So in the second trial, we will also benchmark against existing solutions, and we'll have quantified our differences with those products.
Thank you. Just another question for you, Helena. Have you faced some issues in adapting your solution in different countries with different healthcare systems?
Is it better now? Okay. First and foremost, it's regulatory and compliance, and I think that's the unique for all the healthcare devices, including ours. So what we did, because we are very much active, not only in Europe, but also United States, Australia, and South Africa, for example, as a latest example. So what we did is that we actually started smaller pilots with researchers, prominent researchers from those countries, and we actually included in the project different health economics measurements, but also partnered up with local regulatory and compliance experts just to get information how to implement the device later on, whether it's a private or public healthcare sector. It's very different from Europe, US, South Africa, for example. The next thing what we've seen is the cultural context. For example, our biggest trial was done in Denmark, and of course it's mostly white European population, which is not necessarily very religious, while again, comparing to South Africa, you have a lot of a different population, different ethnic groups who also have different cultural habits and beliefs, where then all of a sudden we had to adapt the solution in a way that you need to create an avatar that looks like a ghost, a witch, a priest, or anything else that is actually complementing the cultural context over there. Linguistically, fun enough, of course, we don't have any issues because it's a real-time voice modulation that's happening during the therapy. So the only requirement is that the therapist and the patient have to speak the same language. So there is no barrier regarding that. And then, of course, then there is the reimbursement models. If you want to do anything in Europe, every country has another layer of complexity. It's not only the medical device regulation that we see here. So again, we need to do extra health economics studies and different trials to support the claim that this actually works in order to implement it in public system, because in Europe, for example, most of the patients, I would say maybe even 95% of the patients will be treated in public system because the cost is simply too high and the system works like that. While in the United States, we are going directly to private clinics. So, I mean, there are so many other problems that we can see, like how to scale the training. Of course, you have to actually bring therapists to Copenhagen to train them for 4 days, because this is a new type of therapy. Even it's the same with cognitive behavioral therapy. You have to have training, you have to have supervision. It's the same with avatar therapy. You have to train them how to use technology, you have to supervise them. So we are now trying to introduce some new training modules, try to make it more scalable and easier for therapists. So we also introduced a learning platform that they will use, as well as 1 year of supervision after they start with working with patients to make sure that everything is. The only problem that we don't have is the data safety, because we don't collect any data, and that's something that we are very proud of, because in this case it would give 1 layer of complexity. But you just start a session, you have the avatar key that you can generate. Every session you just start with the avatar that is kept in, I don't know, medical system of the hospital, and that's it. So it's offline.
Okay, thank you, Helena. Someone from the, yes, Professor Nigro?
Observation on well lung. I think a great potential for public health, because if you have this application in mobile and you are able to connect with the microphone, you can predict with geolocalization an epidemic of flu or a pollution for some part of the country, and timely intervention a part of the public system. So can be, I see many application when you, even if you have not enough sensitivity, but with the global and aggregated data, you have much information of a change in comparison with the day before or the year before in the same period of the year. So this is a type of application can get this global utility.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned a very good point. The fact that the traditional healthcare system, cares a lot, like if we don't talk about public health, it cares a lot about accuracy, specificity, and sensitivity versus cost, and makes totally sense. But there is another layer. There is this layer of accessibility, of convenience, which I think if most of the companies that here spoke mentioned, now this increasing elderly population, this increasing, suffering, lack of doctors, and so on. And so I think this is our strongest point, is not to be considered as a pure diagnostic tool, because maybe we will never reach that, or maybe yes, who knows? I mean, depends on how much data. But it's in this first layer. Indeed, we actually started with COVID-19. Unfortunately, we started with COVID-19, so I think we were not ready, for helping in the pandemic, because we started when the pandemic was already spread, and time that we had a first proof of concept, it was already like too late, and people were not believing that COVID was staying more than a day more, But yeah, I think we can also help in public health. Indeed, now in the team we also have a public health doctor that just joined, and we hope we can bring it more towards this type of collaboration.
Thank you. I'm sorry, it's very interesting to listen to you, but time is running, so we have to go ahead. Thank you to the panelists. And now we have a special segment with on the importance of tailored academy support for startups. So please, Alberto Rivero from Worsley Academy, join us. Many of you should already know him because he's the key supporter for you during the academy. So Albert, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you could put the presentation on, please. La paso yo? Pardon. So it's already connected. Which way? All right. So we need to move forward again, right? We're running short of time, so it's forward, right? Here we are. All right. Thank you first of all to all the projects for your amazing presentations. It's been I think it will be very hard for the jury to deliberate on who will move forward to the next phase, which is the drive phase. As you know, only 3 projects will move forward. I really think it's really impossible to make an objective evaluation of who will need to go forward. So I think for all of you, for all projects, it's already an achievement. So I would like to start by congratulating you. So very briefly, we are Worsley, so we are in charge of the academy, Epicenter Academy. We're a small consultancy boutique based in Barcelona, and we're specialized in open innovation, disruptive innovation, and sustainability. We work with startups and corporates. I would like to start with giving you a vision of the both worlds and on what was our challenge when we got in touch with this project and we had to design a training program or a mentoring program, right? So I'm Albert, I'm a partner, I'm the Epicenter Academy manager, together with Alvaro de Riba. As you all, I think we all know each other, right? And just very briefly about our experience, we've put up several acceleration programs. I think one of the most famous one is one in Barcelona called Inventa. We did 11 editions with over 100 startups accelerated. So this gave us, from there we learned the startup perspective. We've also put training programs of open innovation for corporates in Spain. Especially that was several years ago when open innovation, nobody knew about it. So we tried, one big focus of our consultancy has always been closing the gap between startups and corporates and make them to collaborate. And I think Epicenter is a real challenge, or was one of the aim of Epicenter was that as well, right? So when we came into this challenge of how to put up a program that is appealing for everybody, we're looking at, okay, what startups need? And first challenge was that you've seen the diversity of projects in Epicenter. There's some tech transfer. I'm passionate of tech transfer. It's really challenging when it's really amazing. And we've seen some other projects that are a bit more consolidated. They have several years, they have already some traction, some customers. So, I mean, the needs are very different. And what startups need? Well, it depends, right? It depends on the level of maturity. If you are early stage, well, you need to start with market research. You need validation. You need feedback. You need to iterate very fast, right? You need funding, of course. You need a first MVP. You need to these first pilot programs. You need mentoring community. You need to build your brand. You get to know you on the market, trying to differentiate. Then when things start moving forward, you need to start off, okay, with the funding, I need to put up a Series A, Series B, Series C, so more scaling up the operations, maybe some more consolidated corporate partnerships, but also governance, how we scale up the team without making a mess. You've seen several cases of total failures of scaling up because they just grew very fast. I don't know, I'm thinking of in Spain, there's a very famous fast food or takeaway food that they scaled up too fast, and it was a disaster, and then they had to close down half of the so there's very variety of amount of needs, but depending on the level of maturity. So that was the first challenge. And then if you look at the corporate perspective, which we also have, corporates, they have different needs. And when you look at corporate innovation, there's different horizons of innovation, right? There's what we call H1, so current H1, so the innovation which is closest to the core business. And this, what we want to achieve with this is quick impact on P&L, right? So it's like the continuous improvement of our product that keeps us competitive and gives some advantage, gives something quick wins on our P&L, right? Then there's Horizon 2 innovation, which is how do we transform the business? How do I address the risk of not innovating or not moving forward with our product? If we could keep doing the same throughout the years, we'll be out of business. This is something it's clear, right? The competitors will just outcome us. So this is the kind of innovation of, how we bring adjacent value propositions, maybe to the same customers, maybe adjacent value propositions to new customer segments, right? It's also very important. Maybe normally corporates don't allocate that much resources as the first one. I mean, when you need to focus on your core technology, that's where you're strong, right? But you need to also dedicate some resources on adjacent, right? And then there's also Horizon 3 innovation, which is new businesses. So new value propositions for new customer segments, right? And this is basically what will ensure the long-term competitiveness, right? And we work with different customers in that field, which is just imagine, I don't know, as it has happened with Kodak, for example, or DVDs or on, it's a cross, an X graph of technology adoption, right? It just from one day to another, 1 year to another, technology just drops to zero, and there's another one that skyrockets. So we try to work with customers to how to anticipate this, right? How do you look at the future and see and imagine how the future is like and start building on that? Maybe not 100%, not with all the innovation resources, but you need to put some resources into that, right? And with this complex innovation, corporate innovation perspective, it's like we need to innovate on the short term because or else we will be outsourced. We need outrun. We need impact on P&L, but we also need to look at further horizons. We get into a very complex innovation support vehicles that these corporates have, right? Depending on right? If you can do M&A, if you win, some M&A can be for use for new businesses, also for core. There's incubation, there's internal R&D, normally for more core technology. It's really complex, different kinds of vehicles, right? And also the cost of open innovation for these corporates is also very, very varied. And normally the cheapest one is this venture client, right? So just venture, normally previously open innovation initiatives for corporate meant investing into startups. now we see a lot of collaboration partnerships through venture client initiatives, right? And so for us, the challenge of this program was once to how to assess or how to bring some value to startups or to SMEs that have very different requirements and are in very different levels of maturity. And the second is this, how we bridge the gap between startup agility and corporate structure for venture client collaboration, right? And to do so, well, you already know what we did, so I'm not going to put efforts into this, but we did some boot camps, we did some workshops, we did some one-to-one mentorings. Obviously, Epicenter provides very important funding, and also, I think, visibility. I think these are the most, what we brought, or what Epicenter brought to you. I hope it has been in these different kinds of on these different levels. Probably, well, depending on your needs, maybe funding was more important. If you are 7 years old, maybe it's 30,000, 40,000 years, well, it's something, but maybe it's not, doesn't change your life, right? But maybe the visibility is more important in your case. So, you know, it just depends, and single projects have different needs, right? And our focus, our target has always have been to support you into successful corporate partnerships, right? But again, the diversity of the project is really interesting. I was very happy to engage with corporates with SMEs from many different countries. It was really interesting, and for me personally, I think for Alvaro too, it was really enriching to learn from your different projects, right? Just very quickly to run to what we've done so far, we started with Lean Startup workshops in the launch phase, if you remember. Because this Lean Startup methodology, we use it for corporate level, and you can use it for startups. So everybody can use it, right? And we focused, if you remember, that in this fact that one of the top reasons why startups fail is because there's no really unmet need. There's no market need. And I'm really happy to have seen in all your projects how good you've addressed the market need. It's really important before jumping into the solution to have really clear what the market need is. And so that's for us, I think, a very good achievement that to see this in all of your projects. And then we did, as you remember, a lot of workshops on Lean Startup methodologies. You remember some of the quotes, like Henry, if we had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, right? So also the importance of customer interviews, right? Of getting some market research. And also this Lean Startup methodology you worked on with mentors, with Noelia and Xavier. I think overall the feedback has been good. Obviously there's different necessities of the project, but I hope they had been useful for every single you. You could work with the mural, working on all the different Lean Startup templates. I hope you could, and this is something you can use, and you can go back to it, and you can use it for your startup. You can use it for new initiatives that you're developing within your startup. So it's a really versatile tool that you can use, right? And then with Silvia Bueso, you worked on pitch. Really important how to deliver your value proposition in an effective way, right? And with Silvia, you remember you worked this DACA method, which you first wake up the zombie. You remember, you wake up the zombie. You need to make that your audience is attentive to you, that pays attention to you. Then you need to impact the zombie. Oh, now you have their attention. Oh, now I can deliver it. And to do that, there's some methodologies like tell an emotional story. And I've seen this in your presentations today as well, you know, with telling the story of a particular patient, you know, different strategies, very good to try to evocate emotions. If you evocate emotions, then people remember. And then authenticity at the end. Like, I mean, not everything is not pink color, so there's something that works. Some challenges, like for example, Praxeda was putting a lot of very scientific approach, well, very authentic. Okay, this worked, this didn't work, and we pivot. This is also authenticity is really important too. Then we started, and we're still ongoing with some soft skill workshops. we thought it was also some topics that would appeal to everybody. Here it depends. I mean, some of them, again, depending on the level of maturity. I hope they were useful for you too. So far, and then all the mentoring pool, sorry. And then so far, the feedback of the different workshops, of the different initiatives, it's been quite good, but depending of, there's always some particular cases, but I think we're quite satisfied with how the program has worked. We can further discuss, and I would like to know your opinion how to improve further projects too. But we are happy. Here are some of the feedbacks that we have had. So thank you very much for those of you that put the effort of typing feedback. This is really important. We read it. We pay attention to this. So thank you so much. And now, just to sum up, finalize my intervention, what do you expect for the drive phase, the last phase, right? We think we will speak to the three finalists to see how we can help you, so we can tailor this final training to your needs, as there's only three, so it's easier. This is our proposal, which is doing some workshop with Urs Rodmeyer. He's a collaborator, he's in our company. He has put up a fund, which is called Core Angels. So he has a lot of experience with startups. He's the director of the Founder Institute as well, the program of accelerator program. So he has also the startup and the business and the corporate and the investors point of view. So really you can go check up his profile. I think it's really interesting that we can have him on board in this part of the project. And we would like to tackle scaling up. So our proposal is for the three startups that or SMEs that move forward. We'd like to have a look at fundamental of scaling up, market evaluation and entry strategy, some deal, like how we set up OKRs, different metrics, and so on, and financing strategies, like how we can do that on a ordered, in order, right? And just to end, I'd like to quote Nelson Mandela for these 13 amazing projects. As I've said, only 3 can go forward to the next phase, but remember that you've all won. You just never lose. You just either win or learn. So thank you very much for your time. And
Thank you, Albert, for your inspiring presentation, and also to give us time to collect the score from the corporates. And now we are reached the most important moment of the event, as we have to announce the finalists. And it's time to reveal the winners. So the winner are seat sites. From agri-food sector, the first challenge. Then the second winner is Beyond Vision. Surprise! And then the first one is the Voice Med from the health sector with Ariana. Thank you. I would like to say to all the other participants that all your solution received a lot of score and also consideration from all the corporates, because this second round of the open call was really interesting for the corporates, and for those who didn't win, but they can learn, as I said, Albert, and also they can connect with the corporates, because if you want, we can support you in the connection with them. So I would like to have you take the photo for the 3 winners. And also I would like to invite here The coordinator of the European project Epicenter, Isabelle Botti from the cluster Digital de Catalunya, and also Gideos and Laura from Litmea, the other partners of the project. And we will take a photo with the winners. Me, Roberta Lauro, and also Daniela Russo that support us as a team. And Rosa, and Albert also. Everybody here. Yes, also all the other projects. Would you come with us to take a picture? Would you join us? You are the president of Cluster Campagna by Science, so and also you answer a lot of questions. So yes, active participate.
We want to say again that these results are based on the interest from different corporates, but all projects were excellent, and we thank you, all of you. And now we have some lunch break over there, and we can continue discussions there. Thank you.
Now we have a light lunch in the front room if you would like to eat something. And enjoy your stay in Napoli. And thank you, everybody.